Alrighty, so a little bit of review for a second. Last, remember we learned that the largest angles are across from the largest side, okay? And the smallest angles are across from the smallest side. So if I'm trying to order the angles in this picture from smallest to largest, okay, P is opposite of the smallest. So P is the smallest. R is opposite of the largest side, so R's gotta be the biggest, forcing Q to be in the middle, okay? It works both ways. The same is true for if you're given the angles, so it's the shortest side to the smallest side. So the smallest angle is K, so ML opposite of K, so that's gonna be the smallest. 88's the biggest, MK is opposite of 88, so MK has to be the biggest side, and then M LK is across from the middle largest, however you say that, the middle angle, forcing LK to be in the middle there. So now we're trying to test for obtuse, right, or acute triangles. Acute. There we go. Which one is it going to be? So if I start in the middle here, um, we know that the Pythagorean theorem is that if a squared plus b squared equals c squared, I'm looking at the middle right here, then that triangle has to be a right angle. We've been saying that all week. It forces it to be a right triangle. Go ahead and label that right there. Now in our triangles, it's not always the case, but if c is the biggest side, there's some situations where c is bigger, greater than the sum of those two legs, okay? Then that triangle is going to be obtuse, and we're using the same concept here because the largest angle is across from the largest side. So if it's bigger um, than the sum of those two, it forces this angle right there to be bigger than 90 degrees. The opposite of that is also true. If the sum of the two legs is larger, then this will be an acute triangle because the smallest angles are across from the smallest sides. Okay, so again, if that c squared is bigger, it's going to be obtuse. If the longest side squared is smaller, it will be acute. So if we're looking at this, um, notice that 10 is the biggest side, so that's my c squared. So I'm going to do 5 squared. 5 squared plus 6 squared equals 10 squared. I'm going to put a question mark above that equal sign because I don't really know if it's equal. So that gives me a 25 plus 36. That's not going to be equal to 100. Dang. That gives me a 61, I believe. And that is smaller than 100. So since c squared is bigger, this is an obtuse situation since c squared is bigger. Doing the same thing here. 14's got to be my c, representing c because it's the largest side. Then I do 9 squared plus 12 squared. And again, I'm asking myself, does that equal 14 squared? I'm not saying it is. I'm trying to figure out if it is. 9 squared is 81. 12 squared is 144. 14 squared is 196. Again, I'm trying to figure out, is that equal? I believe this is 225. That is greater than the 196. So c squared is smaller. forcing this to be an acute angle. Again, use this little chart up here to help you decide if you're having a hard time. Okay. Last one. I'm not even going to do the work here. Why am I not going to do the work? Remember our Pythagorean triples: 3, 4, 5. Boom, automatically a triangle. Another one: 5, comma 12, comma 13. Boom, automatically right triangle. Pythagorean triple. So automatically, don't need to do any work. Automatically a right triangle. Told you it'd save you a lot of time if you did the work. 5 squared plus 12 squared would be equal to 13 squared, which makes this a right triangle right there.